Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Elimination Chamber 2021 preview and predictions. We have got 5 matches announced for this show because there was a 6th, but one of the participants ended up being pregnant, so that couldn't happen. But we've got 5 matches here, 2 of which are Elimination Chamber matches, one of which is for the WWE Championship, and the other of which is for contendership for a match that happens on the same show. So this is going to be a very interesting show, to say the least. John, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. How are you feeling?
Oh, you know, things happen, but we're here, and Chamber looks, at the very least, intriguing to me, to say the least.
Yeah, that's a good word to use. Man, I know we always do our hype scale to start this off.
6.5.
Damn, you came out with a number. I was getting ready to do a whole preamble. Shit. All right. SmackDown side's looking pretty good. Raw side, I just don't watch the TV show, so I don't even really know how hype I should be for these. Because it just sucks, and I much prefer Among Us Mondays, which you can all get it on too if you donate $3 to the Patreon and join the Twitch Discord. I'm not shilling, you're shilling. Shut the fuck up.
Honestly, we might even play a little bit of Among Us later tonight after this is over.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, because I know I think we've got at least like 4 or 5 guys, because like Craig wants in, I think Chiefin wants in, I know Abel wants in, I know Mark wants in, so we might be able to get a nice little size lobby going on.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Far be it for me to keep us from that. I think, you know what, I'll keep up tradition. I will say I think I'm at a 7, only really because of the things that SmackDown's got going on. I think they've built their chamber really well. Women's tag titles are cool, and I do consider that more of a SmackDown match given who the challengers are. So yeah, and the Raw side, I hate the chamber. I'm just going to be honest with that. I hate the fucking chamber, but I do have an idea about that.
I always hated it when the WWE was like, we have this big gimmick match that's going to determine who gets a shot at a big championship, and we're just going to put all former champions in it. Like, no, fuck you. Do the opposite. Put no former champions in it. Put all in it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, let's get into this. What match do you want to talk about first?
Well, I think we have the schedule, or I guess the sort of docket as far as what we're going here order-wise today. We're going to start out with the women's tag titles. So we've got Sasha and Bianca challenging Nia and Shayna. I really don't think we're going to get a tag title change here, and I also really fucking hope we don't, because, Sasha and Bianca are both awesome, but the story is all about Dakota and Raquel versus Nia and Shayna, with Dakota and Shayna's history and, Raquel and Nia trying to be the biggest, baddest.
Yeah, I'm just going to be straightforward with it, dude. I think it should be an okay match. I'm curious about the dynamic of Sasha and Bianca, who have teamed before, by the way. I mean, this isn't like a new thing. They teamed at Tribute for the Troops. They teamed in one random women's tag title matchup when Asuka and Charlotte were champions. It was like a fatal 4-way elimination matchup. So they have experience as a team. I really think that this is more a vehicle for Bianca to solidify her choice, because I could see her laying out Sasha post-match, or there being a miscue between the two, and maybe Sasha gives her lip post-match and Bianca lays her out. But ultimately, it's just for Bianca to make her choice. Yeah, Sasha, I am coming for you at Mania. Watch yourself, kind of thing. So I am going to go with Shayna and Nia retaining, because this match is more about Bianca solidifying her choice than anything else.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And of course, we need Asuka to be fresh and open so that Charlotte can beat her at Mania.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
All right, so we've got Nia and Shayna retaining, and then moving on. And you know what? Since we're not going to preview and predict the show that this is going to happen on, I might as well ask, since we both agree that Nia and Shayna retain here, do you think they also retain against Dakota and Raquel?
I do, man, because I personally, speaking solely for myself, I can't get the idea out of my head that Raquel may very well be our next NXT Women's Champion. I can't. So
maybe it's wishful thinking on my end, but I almost have to think that there's a chance Dakota and Raquel win as a way for them to call the two of them up. Because Dakota's been around forever, and Raquel is everything Vince loves. She's got the size, she's got the power, she's got the look, and of course she's got the fucking legacy, because she is second or third generation or whatever it is. So I really wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to put the titles on the two of them just for the sake of like having an excuse to call them up to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. That is a great point. That isn't something I've given myself to do. I actually forgot that Raquel was second generation, honestly. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still tentatively saying Shayna and Nia retain for that
That's
one
fair.
as well, since we're kind of predicting that.
And Alex Foster makes a great point. Naomi and Lana probably make more sense than Raquel and Dakota as far as the team that's going to beat Nia and Shayna just because of all of the harassment that they put Lana through. And now Naomi is here to actually like stand up for her and be like a decent friend and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on. Up next, we have got our United States Championship match. Of course, Bobby Lashley, the champion, defending in a triple threat against Keith Lee and Riddle. Like, don't get me wrong, I am a fan of these guys in the ring, but I feel like this shouldn't be a United States Championship picture. This should be like, you should swap these three guys for like Sheamus, AJ, and Jeff in the actual chamber and have them vying for the world title.
Yeah. Okay, so question here before I just give my predictions. Is Keith Lee still in this? Because I thought Javaris made a whole thing about it.
Yeah, Javaris was speaking on rumors, but according to everything that I've seen, whether it's Wikipedia or WWE.com, it's still a triple threat involving Keith.
You know what's so like fun, and I say that somewhat ironically, about predicting Raw matches is you and I don't watch the product. So I have to go by like YouTube clips that I go back and watch and whatever. Lashley has been so dominant, but he also seems a bit unrestrained. I almost have to wonder if her business is falling apart, which I would say I'm not excited about. I still love the faction. I still think it has mileage. But a Bobby Lashley that's looking intense is a Bobby Lashley that I think is good business. So I'm just going to say that he retains here. And really,
that's perfectly, reasonable, logical, all that stuff.
I mean, honestly, dude, not to jump the gun, but again, I don't feel as bad about it when we're not as close. Like, we're nowhere near close right now to WrestleMania preview predictions. I would not be surprised, I don't know if you agree with me or disagree with me on this, if Endgame was Bobby Lashley that's on a tear the way he's been booked lately, just destroying people, versus Keith Lee, and Keith Lee wins his first championship at a Mania. I'm almost, like, tempted to kind of pencil that in, Lashley versus Keith Lee one-on-one for the title.
That would be really cool, for sure. I almost wonder if they would be just, like, gung-ho about just doing that on Fastlane or something like that.
They could be. You know, I mean, I think there have been past years, dude, where you and I think that something's a WrestleMania moment for the babyface, and then just like, give it to him Fastlane, or my personal favorite, don't give it to him at all. Fuck him.
Yep.
Oh,
anyway, I honestly, you're probably right, but I feel like being a little spicy today, so I'm actually going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Riddle wins the U.S. title here.
Sweet. I mean, dude, given that we got two major matches wrong at TakeOver for the Dusty Classics, I think you're in the right to be a bit spicy because the straightforward route isn't always the correct one.
I mean, that wasn't even necessarily the spiciest part. Here's the real spicy part. They're putting the title on Riddle because Ali is going to challenge him for that title at WrestleMania.
That's actually a perfect segue for our next matchup, if I may, the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. I have a spicy prediction of my own. May I?
Yes, please.
I think Ali is going to take out Kofi and take his spot.
I'm curious, though. I'm genuinely curious. Has Ali even mentioned any interest in being in this chamber match?
I think he's mentioned anger about it. I don't know about interest. I'm actually glad you used that word, though, when you asked that relative to Ali. So that is my one spicy take. Is that Ali could take out Kofi because, you know, he never did get his chamber opportunity. That was the catalyst for Kofi Mania 2 years ago. I just gotta break the bad news now in my mind, right? I'm projecting. This isn't legitimate bad news. I'm projecting. I think we're headed to Drew fucking Strowman at Mania. Because here's my real spicy prediction. I should qualify. Ali could happen. Here's what I actually think is going to happen. I'm going to lay it out for you right now, real quick. You ready for this? McIntyre retains. Strowman attacks McIntyre post-match. Miz cashes in successfully. Drew beats Miz to regain the title at Fastlane. So Miz is literally going to be a transitional champion, which, come on, would that surprise anybody? Him with that briefcase is still treated as a joke. We do McIntyre Strowman at Mania. That's my whole thing.
Wouldn't Miz want in on that, though? Do you think that McIntyre just defends the title against Miz on TV between Fastlane and Mania?
Possibly. possibly. That is a good point. I'll admit that was one
Do
thing.
you think there's a chance that they do the weird triple threat?
There's with WWE, I think there's always a chance. But here's why I lay all this out, because I don't even know if you're aware of this, and I'm asking sincerely because again, I know we both don't watch the show, and I don't know if you're like me and you go back and you watch the YouTube clips. Strowman explicitly went to Adam Pearce and he's like, "Why am I not in this chamber match?" And he's like, "It's just former WWE champions." And he said, "But I'm a former Universal champion." Yeah, as in not WWE champion. But Strowman more or less tells Pearce, "You tell Shane to make it right, or I'll make it right." You know, kind of like that whole foreboding ominous kind of thing.
See, now that tells me that Strowman is going to take out Kofi and take his spot, not Ali.
See, and I can understand why you'd feel that way. I only go to Ali, obviously, because he's been feuding with the New Day. But I do think, regardless of where you and I disagree, I do think Strowman's going to get his hands on McIntyre in this match, and it's going to be in such a way.
Oh, and you know what? Foster makes a great point. It doesn't necessarily have to be Kofi. It could just as easily be Jeff Hardy. I think either one of those guys is very much in a prone position where someone could beat the shit out of them and take their spot.
Okay, so just to kind of calm down the discourse a little bit, because there are a lot of moving parts, let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's ridiculous of me to think that Miz will cash in when he was the one taken out of this match in the first place?
No.
Do you think Miz is going to cash in?
No.
Interesting. Do you think he's going to let his contract run out?
Dude, low-key, I think Miz might try and reproduce Rollins and try and cash in at Mania.
Oh, man. You think?
I mean,
that is possible.
His old character is like, he's fucking hot dogging, you know? Like, he's out here, you know, grandstanding and hot dogging. That's his whole thing. Like, he's a fucking, you know, he's like the Hollywood guy, right? Like, he's always over the top. He's always just like, yeah, look at me. I want to be the center of attention. And, like, it would only fit his character if he has an opportunity to cash in and get a championship match whenever the fuck he wants, to save that for the biggest stage of them all, especially because the contract doesn't expire until after that. So I genuinely think Miz is going to cash in at Mania.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he might even pull a Seth and cash in during a match rather than waiting for it to be over to cash in. That's happened multiple times already.
Yeah.
So
you know what? Okay, so there are a lot of moving parts, and I'll take full responsibility. I put a lot of them on the table.
Yeah, dude, honestly, like, I am picking Drew to retain. I'm just going to put that on the table right now. I'm picking Drew to retain, but if I was feeling even spicier, I would pick Strowman to win the fucking belt here.
Yeah.
Because we have seen Braun Strowman in an Elimination Chamber. We've seen the damage that he can do and how dominant he is in a setting like that. And if he said, if you don't make it right, I will, he's going to find a way to get into this thing. Like there's, because I completely missed out on that segment from Raw because we were probably playing Among Us during it, or, you know, just watching AEW. But if that really is how it went down, I have no doubt that he's going to be in this match then. Like, even if it's as simple as, like, because we've seen this before, it's just a 7-man chamber now, and he just is in the match, and he's one of the 3 people starting, and he just fucking runs through everyone.
Do you, because I'm curious where we agree and disagree. You know, I already have as my end game, like Drew's match would be with Braun, because they wanted to do the Drew Braun program before Braun got injured.
Yeah,
do you
and
see
you know
that
what,
as being
dude?
Drew's
I can
match?
totally sign on to that. Like, I'm not saying that I am, like, yes, 100% behind it, but your vision makes a lot of sense to me. So, and because I can't really come up with anything better right now, you know, other than maybe just Sheamus if they wanted to do that. And I think they could do the Sheamus thing at Fastlane and just be done with it. Yeah, the Drew Braun thing, especially because there's like that image of like Drew, this fucking mountainous beast of a man looking up at his challenger. Like that's an image, right? That's aesthetic right there. And Vince is a huge mark for that shit. So yeah, I think that Braun versus Drew is absolutely not only on the table, but probably likely to happen at WrestleMania.
So what do I want to predict, since I was the one that really put all this in motion to begin with? I really feel Miz is going to cash in here. So you know what? I'm not even going to comment.
Oh, dude, Alex Foster made a really great point too. Braun could take out Sheamus to get that 6th spot, and that would give Sheamus an excuse for a one-on-one match because he got screwed out of the chamber then.
That is, oh man, you're all making really good points. So I'll tell you what, for the sake of my own brain, which is overloading right now. I'm not going to comment on Kofi status. I'm not going to comment on any new participants. I'm going to keep it straightforward with the things I have the most confidence in, okay? So I am going to say that Drew retains, but I am going to say that Miz cashes in here. And do I want to go as far as to say successfully, though?
Yeah, that's the real big, because like to me, I don't see Drew. Let me put it this way. Actually, I don't think Drew loses the title before WrestleMania unless it's to his eventual WrestleMania opponent. I don't think we're gonna get a quick 1 month long transitional reign before Mania.
Right. But they treat Miz like such a joke though. At the same time, dude,
They really do. Yeah.
They really do. You know what? I'm going to be that guy.
Although, you know what, though? I will say that most recent episode of talking, or of Miz TV, I feel like that re-legitimized him a lot. That made him come off as almost like scary and really kind of menacing for Drew's title run.
Should I go back and watch that? That sounds good.
The Miz TV? Yeah, dude. It was probably the best work that Miz has done since getting drafted to Raw this time.
Wow. Well, sold. I'll go back and watch it. You know what, though, man? These preview predictions have had a different energy, and I'm fucking here for it. So consider me drunk on the energy and just the weirdness of today. Miz cashes in and wins. I think he's going to be our new WWE champion. I've been wrong so many times on this podcast. I'm immune. Let's fucking do it. Let's do a successful cash in, and he's a transitional champion. Edge's first cash in was literally like that. Cashed in, lost it like a month later. There's like a month. I think literally a month, because I think Fastlane is March 21st. Is it? Let me see. Let me fucking see here.
I think it might be a week earlier than that, March 14th.
Is it? Because last I checked Fastlane 2021, I did see March 21st, 2021. So let me look up real quick.
Let's see. Fastlane 2021. Yeah, it's listed as March 21st. That's just weird, though, because Mania is only like 3 weeks after that. Do you think they would really do a 3-week thing between the most recent pay-per-view and Mania?
In a way, I actually could see it in a way, only because, like, the road to WrestleMania, it's almost over. Who's really going to get there?
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah. 21st. We'll go with it. I just am like, well, if this is happening on the 21st, I feel like if you're going to have a 3-week period in between any two pay-per-views, you would rather have it be between Chamber and Fastlane than have it be between Chamber and Mania. Or between Fastlane and Mania, rather.
Here's the thing. I don't personally disagree with you. I'm always trying to think when we do these, like, where's WWE's mind at? And it's so fucked, dude. Who even fucking knows?
I mean, that's the thing, too, is they've also, like, consistently been moving their pay-per-views around. Like, I know at one point Rumble was scheduled to be on January 24th and they moved it back, and I think this was scheduled to be on the 14th and they moved it back. So like I'm also like a little bit apprehensive, and like you watch tomorrow they'll be like, hey, Fastlane on March 14th, and it'll be like, oh, Wikipedia was wrong again or something along those lines.
Something like that. Yeah. So I think just to lock it in so we can talk about, to me, the far more interesting Chamber, and in my mind, maybe I'm doing Raw a disservice because I don't watch the show, but I have enjoyed how the SmackDown Chamber has been built. So just to lock it in, Drew retains, but we'll get a successful cash in by The Miz. I can't believe I'm committing to this, but yeah, Miz cashes in successfully, because it's just too weird to me that Kofi takes his spot specifically, and I hate that Jeff is in this match. I just really hate the participants in this, except for Kofi. Even Orton, like, Orton's not going to win because he's doing the fucking Fiend shit. Fucking hell. But yeah.
So yeah, do we think that, like, okay, so we know Edge is going to be going after a world champion. Do we think that we're literally just going to get Orton versus Fiend at WrestleMania? Because they've been building to that since like fucking the end of the summer, early fall.
Yeah, dude, we are 100% getting that. Like, I know that my prediction of Miz cashing in is on a limb. But, like, no, that seems very much in the ballpark of what they want to do. Like,
yeah.
Either that or they do an intergender match, Orton versus Bliss, and I'm only half kidding. Like, one or the other, Fucking hell. But yeah, I'm going to say it. Miz cashes in. Miz fucking cashes in.
Hey, that's interesting, though, man. I mean, we both got to be a little bit spicy here tonight. I'm kind of staying conservative on this. I'm just going to say Drew retains. If Miz does cash in, they do another thing where it's unsuccessful, but then he finds a fucking loophole where he gets to keep the briefcase. Because I really think that his real, actual cash in will be at WrestleMania.
Now we get to the more interesting picture to me, and maybe a bit of extended commentary. I thought I ate up more time, but we're only coming at the 20-minute mark here, so I don't feel too bad. SmackDown Chamber. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about this, bro, so you go first. How are you feeling about this match, and is the winner straightforward to you, or are you having some difficulty?
No, dude. This is the hardest match on this card for me to predict, because at the end of the day, like, I see it as who's going to lose to Roman in the next match, because I feel like they're going to have the winner of this match stay in the ring and have Roman come out and beat them in 10 minutes. I mean, maybe if it is Owens, who I think is probably the most likely person to win here, if it is Owens, it'll be a 15-minute match. But Roman will still find a way to win, and maybe even with Jey Uso's help or Paul Heyman's help or whatever. But, like, I just don't know, man. Because, like, it's obviously going to be a babyface, too. So it's either got to be Cesaro, Bryan, Owens, or like maybe Dark Horse Jey Uso, but that's not super likely either. I am really tempted just to pick Owens here, but I am also like really getting pulled between those three guys, and maybe like there's a 2% part of me that thinks Jey Uso might win too.
Yeah, like. Okay, so I said there'd be a bit of extended commentary here because we're really just bundling these last two matches because the Universal Championship match immediately follows the other.
Right.
God, I'm loving Owens' work so much. I wanted this to be Mania for him. I really did. He's in his fucking pocket right now. He can't do anything wrong to me as a babyface. It's so good. But then you get fucking Cesaro, who's being reignited again, and they do this with our hearts every time, the Cesaro section. It's like, oh, we're turning up the heat a little. Oh, we're going to do something this time. No, you're not. Don't fucking play me like you're going to do something. You never fucking do anything. Fuck you. I say again, with more emphasis, fuck you. You never do anything. Stop lying to me, you whores. So, wow, that came from a really dark place. I really need help. So you're turning up the burners on him, which, happy for the fucking dude. And again, I don't know who saw in our chat.
Oh.
What?
Dude, I figured I would check in on Vegas odds because they always change overnight anyway, so it's not like it's actually going to give us like true insight to what everything's going to be tomorrow, but like, believe it or not, Cesaro is the odds-on favorite here.
Yeah, dude, to me it comes down to KO or Cesaro personally, and those are the two
and those are the two odds-on favorites. It's like, it's Cesaro has 5 to 6 odds. And then Owens is 2-1, and then Bryan is 9-2, and then Jey Uso is 9-1, and then Corbin and Zayn are both fucking no way. Like Corbin's at 50-1, Zayn's at 50-1. Like they're both at 50-1. So it's like there's no way either one of those guys are going to do it. Uso is a stretch. Bryan is kind of a stretch, and then it really is like the Owens and Cesaro race. Because the thing is, like the first number is the number that you win if you get your bet correct. Like relative to the second number. So like Cesaro being at 5 to 6 means you bet $6. Even if you win, you only get $11 back because that's your $6 initial bet, and then the extra $5 that you win from winning the bet. Whereas with Owens, if you bet $5, you would get fucking $15 back because you're winning $10 plus you're getting your initial bet back as well. So like is basically saying like Cesaro is that much more likely to beat Owens in the minds of this bookmaker. That they're like, yeah, that's fucking crazy to me. And here's the even crazier thing to me. Odds on the Chamber winner beating Roman are shortening.
Well, yeah, because they're probably thinking like Roman Edge after the way SmackDown ended, right?
No. Shortening as in getting more likely to happen based on the odds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like on the 18th, so on, what is that, Thursday, at 8 p.m., the Chamber winner was at 8-1 odds. But then earlier today at 11:15 a.m., the Chamber winner went down to 7-1 odds. And now the Chamber winner is at 5-1 odds. It's getting closer. And Roman went from 1-20 to 1-16 to 1-9. They're getting closer. They're converging. It's getting to the point that if this trend continues, the Chamber winner might be favored going into this fucking show.
How is that even possible?
I do not know.
Dude, I'm kind of living for this, right? I thought you and I would just be like, so-and-so wins and then Roman retains. Yeah, but this changes everything. Because now, like, I'm giving I love it, though. Let's get this energy. So, okay. I kind of bungled the Raw conversation about Chamber, at least in my mind I did, because I put a lot of moving parts. So let's just take it one at a time. Let me ask you, because I don't want to monopolize the combo. I've narrowed it down to Kevin and Cesaro. Do you have anybody, like, I'm guessing for you, Bryan still in the conversation?
Fuck. Let me just put it this way. Based on the trend of Vegas being like, oh, maybe the Chamber will beat Roman, that tells me it has to be Owens. Because there is nobody else in this match that's going to win the Chamber and then beat Roman Reigns. It's only Owens that could possibly do that. Like, if you just put like the scenario in your mind, okay, someone's going to win the Chamber and then beat Roman Reigns for the title. The only motherfucker in this match that could do that is Kevin Owens. So I'm picking Kevin to win now. I have completely sold out. I'm all in on Kevin.
Okay, so here's the thing. I could just make it easy and be like, I agree with you, but I'm me, so I'm just going to talk anyway. I do agree with you, though, in all seriousness, because Kevin does have the story. He literally said to Edge, I've had Roman beat on 3 occasions. He has been chasing this motherfucker with an insistence that I don't think we've seen in a babyface for some time. In fact, it's funny, because when we were talking about this, and because I'm just loving Kevin as a babyface, I was thinking about WrestleMania 20. And how fucking Shawn Michaels got in that triple threat. Yeah. Because he fucking super kicked and he put his name into the contract. I'm almost wondering, like, wouldn't it be something if Kevin interrupted the contract signing between Edge and Roman, because you know they're going to fucking do one. You just know they will. Stuns Edge and puts his name on the contract, because I don't want to see Edge and Roman one-on-one. Maybe I'm probably in the minority in that, and I will own that.
I don't know if you are, honestly. I don't think... I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are like, oh, it's a fantasy match because it's the spear versus the spear and stuff like that. But, like... I feel like a lot of people are also like, Edge is old and Roman might not be able to carry him to a really good match.
Yeah, so if he can work with Kevin, the majority of it, and then maybe Edge has the hope spots when he tries to assert himself, like, I've even wondered, could he pull WrestleMania 20, crash the contract signing, put his name on it? But I let me just clarify, I understand, first and foremost, that this is completely fantastical and ridiculous. So I just want to establish that I'm not being carried away by my flights of fancy. Right. That said, I have been loving Kevin's work here. And he's just said he's come so close every time. Cesaro's been an unexpected but pleasant surprise, but we have to think about the Seth Rollins factor. Yeah. The only reason I even thought about Cesaro until you mentioned fucking Vegas odds, which gets me all kinds of tingly, is that I thought Cesaro could win, but then Seth would screw him out of the Universal title match. And, it would be the whole thing.
That would make sense, but the worry I have is that then they would just turn that into Seth Roman.
And that worries me too. Well, that doesn't necessarily worry me because they're both heels in a different way, but I see what you're driving at, where it's like, oh, it makes the story more about what Seth did rather than what Cesaro tried to do. And he just gets minimized from his own story. I mean, simplicity's sake says Owens. And again, I do agree with you. And let me just get ahead of this and say I am going to lock in Owens, which then makes Roman versus KO number 4. This is their 4th matchup. Right, because TLC, Steel Cage, Rumble.
Oh, I forgot about the Steel Cage on SmackDown. You're right.
Yeah, so then this would be 4. That gives it a renewed discussion because of Vegas odds. And by the way, and this is probably going to be the most asshole thing I say, for anybody that is excited because Edge, Roman is spear versus spear, we more or less saw it. Granted, Edge didn't spear Roman, he speared Jey Uso. I'm thinking Roman's spear wins out. Like, I saw him spear
That was a
Edge.
really weak spear from Edge. I went back and rewatched it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then you watch the Roman spear, right? And you're like...
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what that move's supposed to look like.
Yeah. Yes, you pretty much said it. So yeah, it really... Because, dude, you said something interesting in our last SmackDown interview about the IC title, and honestly, I think whoever's writing SmackDown or, like, a part of that, they've got to be loving the Cesaro-Bryan interactions, and I think you even said that they both would be in the IC title match at Mania because they like to do a big schmoz at Mania. So maybe it would even be a fatal 4-way of just fucking workhorse. You got Big E, who we know can do... I mean, he got a fucking great match out of Sheamus at a pay-per-view. Seth, Bryan, Cesaro, I could see that. The running hug, goddamn it, Mark. Yeah, Kevin Owens wins. I think I'd be happy for Cesaro if he won, but I am still a bigger KO fan, so I'd love to see him get back in the ring with Roman again. And how often do you hear me say that about a feud that's been going for now, this would be 3 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And, like, again, this is their 4th matchup. And
well, they keep on dangling it in front of us, though. They keep on giving us that little shred of hope of, like, he should have won if only this, or if only that, or, you know, that kind of stuff. It's like,
I honestly think if Paul Heyman wasn't such a fucking dingus, that Rumble match might have actually been my match of the year, or at least... Yeah, because, like, I was so worked by it. Because here's the thing with Ibushi Jay White. I think we all knew on some level Ibushi was winning just to get his ultimate moment. It was just such a great fucking match.
Yeah.
They made me believe, goddammit. And they made me believe that Kevin Owens is about to become Universal Champion. Paul Heyman's like, wait. I just need 2 more hours. I've almost got this. Fuck you, Heyman. So yeah, Kevin Owens wins. We both agree on that. Let's get on to our proper main event then. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. I hand the ball back to you, man. What are you thinking here?
I mean, the odds might be closing in, but they're still, you know, favoring one side. Roman retains at the end of the day.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm going to tell you personally how I see Chamber ending. Roman retains.
Bro, I just realized that rhymes with his actual name. Roman Reigns, Roman retains. Holy shit.
Put that on a shirt?
Oh my god, yes.
How have you not been invited to the tribe? I don't understand. But yeah, just the way I see Chamber ending, Roman retains. Again, put that on a shirt. Edge gives him a receipt for the spear, giving him one in kind, and then he just stands over Roman and he points at the WrestleMania sign. Classic WWE finish. Like, that's how Chamber's ending to me. So yeah, Roman retains. We do Edge Roman at Mania, and well, do you know why I wouldn't be as depressed about this, truthfully, if I knew KO had a meaty WrestleMania match waiting for him.
Yeah,
and I just feel
dude,
like
I really want Edge to pick Finn.
I do too, man. I do too. I feel so bad for I mean, really Edge in a way, because I'm going to turn on him in this program. Like, I just know I will, and I'm trying to be self-aware enough about it. I'm going to turn on him. I really wanted this to be KO's year, because the poetry of this too, let's remember, I love wrestling sometimes, and more pointedly, I love when we talk about wrestling sometimes, because it's amazing the shit you remember. Kofi Mania was supposed to be KO Mania. Nobody expected Kofi to get as hot as he did. I think the whole plan was for KO to end Bryan's title reign that year.
Well, wait, wasn't Ali supposed to get that push?
Well, or also Ali. I was hearing either Ali or KO, so they were both in the conversation, we'll say. It really looked like it could have been KO's year here, and then Edge is like, man, I fell off a dirt bike and my neck feels great. Maybe I can wrestle again. And it was off to the races from there. So, like, KO is just so good, and I want him to be world champion again, because I was kind of meh on his heel reign, and I feel like he'd have such a good babyface reign, and we lost it, man. Like, it's not happening, and it sucks, because it's not Edge's fault. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, fuck Edge. Like, Edge did nothing wrong here. Like, at all, but it's just, I really prefer KO's babyface rise. So, it's kind of disheartening. I've been pleading on Twitter, I wish, like, Brock, this is one time that I actually wish for a Brock matchup, because at least in kayfabe, Brock is a huge opponent for a babyface KO, and fits the whole just keep fighting thing. KO's probably going to be in that fucking IC title match.
I'm still almost, like, hesitant to even commit to saying Brock's going to be at Mania this year.
Yeah, I can't commit to it either, dude, because we don't even know what fans are going to be like, what anything's going to be like.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd waste money on Brock for that when so much is up in the air.
No.
So, yeah, he's probably going to be part of the IC title schmuzz. Yeah, it's cool, I guess. And, Mark, I get where you're coming from, too, man. I don't want to make it seem like I don't understand that point of view at all. I'm very heavily biased because I just fucking adore KO. Like, I even thought to myself, my 3 favorite babyfaces right now are KO, Juice, and Starlight Kid. And I'd love for KO to get his rub. It's not fucking happening.
It's so fucking sad to me that you can't name Kyrie in that list anymore.
It bothers me too, man. Oof. Yeah, Roman retains. KO tries yet again, fails. Love for him to pull a Shawn Michaels, insert himself into the Mania match, and make it a triple threat. That's not happening.
Almost, honestly, if we both agree that Roman is going to retain here, I would almost prefer for it to be like a Cesaro or a Bryan.
Yeah, I don't want KO to take another loss to Roman if that is the case. But
I mean,
I really do think...
you know what, dude? Especially, you know what? Here's where I'll go.
Okay.
This just popped into my head, so apologies if it's shabby. What if Jey Uso again costs Owens the Chamber match, and we get Uso versus Owens at Fastlane, where if Owens wins, he gets inserted into the world title match at Mania. That way we avoid more Owens versus Reigns matches at every pay-per-view, but we still get Owens versus Reigns at Mania.
I fucking love that idea. Dude, if that would happen, like, I'd be all for that. And plus, again, nothing against Edge. Like, WrestleMania main events, you can't... Because, like, when they did Brock Drew, that literally lasted 5 minutes. And in a way, I liked it, because Drew's a fucking beast. And him handling Brock like that, should be nothing. I feel like this is the type of story that should get time because they want to play up Edge's grit, right? So you don't really demonstrate grit in 5 fucking minutes. But if you want it to go 20 plus, I can't trust the two of them on their own to do that. I do think it needs a third man, and KO's the most viable.
I can just imagine though, like Jey Uso gets eliminated by, like, say, Daniel Bryan, because they have a little bit of beef now too, and then Jey super kicks Kevin Owens into Corbin's waiting arms, and he hits the end of days and pins Owens. And then, we build to a match between Uso and Owens at Fastlane, where if Owens wins, he gets a world title shot at Roman at Mania with Uso banned from ringside in a stipulation where if Uso shows up, Owens wins the title, right?
Yeah.
Uso wins one of two things: either Roman or either Owens gets banned from ever challenging Roman for the title ever again for as long as he holds it, or to make it even higher stakes, Owens must leave SmackDown.
Ooh, that would be perfect for Roman because they're annoyed about KO still coming for them over and
that
over.
That would be
and
like
over.
We finally get rid of this nuisance kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that would be that like. I mean, I don't expect them to do it. I hope they do it, but I don't expect them to do it. But that's just another idea of, like, Owens doesn't need to win here. He doesn't have to get his match tonight. But yeah, like, it would, I feel like there's so much more of a compelling story to tell, making Owens have to fight his way back into contendership and getting screwed every step along the way. It would feel very, very Yes Movement-esque for Kevin Owens to me. The way and on that Yes Movement run kept getting screwed by the Authority over and over and over and over again. And eventually he had his big moment at Mania. Owens, I feel like, could have a similar rise.
Yeah, dude. Because, like, that's the thing. They put themselves in a rock and a hard place because I get that Edge is the story, but I think getting beyond my bias and talking more about the product, you've invested so much in KO as a babyface, unless you have a worthwhile WrestleMania match substitute, again, like a Brock or just some, like, thing that could really flesh out the whole just keep fighting mindset, it's going to be a waste, and he's going to start to cool down. And I don't know if you should, like, have him cool down. And I really don't want him in the IC title picture. He feels so far above that title right now. Yeah. So I agree with everything you're saying, man. I think that's how you break the repetition of Kevin Roman while still keeping Kevin hot and, maybe get into that big payoff. Or even if you still want to swerve and go the Edge way, fine, I get that. But, like, you need to ride this to the end, and I don't think we're at the end yet. So I actually really liked everything you just said there. I'm finding myself in deep agreement with that.
Hooray.
So, yeah.
Agreement is fun.
I gotta say, man, you talking about Vegas odds, us having a very spirited conversation about the chamber matches, actually did a bit for my hype. And I don't normally do this because I try and keep my feet on the ground when it comes to hype and just really looking at the card. But our speculative conjecture really got me going between me saying Miz is going to cash in to what if they do this with KO. I know Vegas odds are like kind of leaning this way. I think I'm actually at an 8 out of 10 for this, just based on more what could happen.
Dude, we both went up by a full point, because as you were saying, between this and that and this and that, I was like, you know what, I think I'm up to a 7.5 now instead of a 6.5. And of course, you go up by the full 1 point as well.
Yeah, dude, our conversation did a lot for my hype for this show. And that like, it's rare. Like, I think we always consistently have good conversations, but when we check in at the end, maybe 0.5, maybe whatever. But I jumped a whole point on this motherfucker. Like, let's go. Let's see what Chambers got in store. Because especially the SmackDown side, I think they could do a lot of inspired stuff on their side of the card.
Yeah, man. So SmackDown is absolutely, dude. I'm telling you, I'm gonna just say this straight up. SmackDown is the best American wrestling show on TV right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like we kept a healthy attendance throughout that whole thing. Please leave a like as you file out. Click the bell icon, subscribe for notifications so you never again miss any of that TwitWow goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time, to live react to this shit. Let's see how it fucking goes, guys. I'm ready for whatever Chamber. Fastlane's next, March 21st. Whatever Chamber has in store for us, we've put a lot on the table. So let's see what's going to happen. None of it's probably going to happen. And then I'm just going to be like, but we had such good ideas. And then Ashton, the pragmatist, is going to be like, well, of course we did, John. That's why WWE didn't do a single one of them. Don't you know by now? Yeah.
But we can throw back to this moment where you knew and you were clear-minded and you actually said it yourself and you didn't need me to say it for you. And we'll just be like, see, John, you knew then. Why don't you know now?
Because I'm up in my feelings. And then, I don't know, I'll make a Ben Shiro sock bucket to be like, facts don't care about your feelings. And I throw it in the furnace where it belongs. God, I really need that help, guys.
You really came off as just straight up demented there, man.
Yeah, it's becoming less of a meme, everyone. Please send help. So we'll see you tomorrow at 7. And really looking forward to this.
That was my old tea kettle laugh, you know.
Yeah, bringing back the classics. I love it. Just like I love all of you beautiful fucking people. And I saw you, Foster, low-key turning up in the chat. This motherfucker was like, nah, Baron wins, and they reignite their dog food feud.
Oh, like, God.
We see you, Foster, thinking you're so clever. As if.
No, but he is very clever, though. He is.
WrestleMania main event sponsored by Alpo. Or is it Aleppo? Which one's the dog food? I feel like Aleppo's a city.
Right. No, Alpo, yeah.
I knew it. Yeah, it is Alpo. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to you because I clearly can't drive anymore.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you all enjoyed our Elimination Chamber preview predictions. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, we would love to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen on this show? Do you think Kevin Owens is going to get another shot at Roman Reigns, or do you think they're going to make Owens fight to get another shot at Reigns at Mania, or do you just think Owens is done in the title picture entirely? Do you think that Roman is going to retain no matter who his opponent is tonight because of the fact, or tonight, you know, on this show? Or do you just think that, you know, it's kind of a foregone conclusion that Roman's going to keep it? Or do you think that someone, maybe Cesaro, maybe Bryan, maybe it is Owens, maybe Jey Uso himself has the stuff to come out and actually beat the tribal chief? Who do you think is going to win all of these matches? We went through 5 of them. I want to hear from all of you. Leave your predictions down in the comments, please. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Twitch. And if you would like to support the channel, you can also subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities, because we are TwitWow and we are the workhorses of the Y and TWCs. And we will be seeing you all tomorrow for our live reactions to Elimination Chamber. All that we ask you to do is remember to stay tuned.